What's good though? You already know who it is though. It's the one and only Twitter. How you guys doing? And welcome back to some more UCL Season 2 draft pick analysis with the one and only Twit and the coach of the Grand Canyon Greninjas. Today we got the RU and the NU tier picks that I'm gonna be breaking down for you guys. If you guys missed the OU and the UU tier picks, the links will be in the description down below, or the link to the video will be in the description down below, and if I can remember, in the annotation on the screen as well. But before we get into that, let me thank each and every one of you guys for checking out today's video. If you could take 1 second after today, click the like button down below, because one like does go a long way and helps out the channel and the series itself. And I just cannot speak today. I don't understand. I just can't speak, man. I just can't speak. All right, so as I was saying in the last video, our OU and UU picks were really solid. It gave us a lot of versatility, a lot of utility, and a lot of damage. A lot of power, man. Absolutely a lot of power. As you guys see, the Skarmory for utility, the Blissey for utility, the Sableye for utility, followed up by the Charizard, which can be run special or physical, but it is a Mega Charizard X. I don't have to, just keep this in mind though, I do not have to Mega every single time that I use the Charizard. Just keep that in mind. I can't just run a regular Charizard. But it can be run special or it can be run physical. We've got the Contrary Superior, which can be run Contrary Special, or it could be run, Overgrow Physical, which is really cool. And then, of course, we've got the Conkeldurr, which is just a lot of damage. We've got some priority moves with that. We've got coverage with it. It's just a lot of really good options. But today, we are here to talk about the RU and the NU pick, so let's go ahead and hop right on into it. So as you guys see, we have the Jolteon as our first pick. Now, taking a look at the team before, we didn't have a lot of speedy Pokemon. No, we had the Blissey, we had the Sableye, and we had the Conkeldurr. All three, the UU tier was all slow Pokemon. So we had to make up for all the slowness on our team with some speed, because we don't want to have to run a Tailwind Skarmory every single week and become predictable. And so, while it is really nice, and again, it does give us a lot of good options, we definitely needed some speed if we wanted to just go all out offense, or if we would just wanted some better defense, or excuse me, better offensive Pokemon, some better lead Pokemon and such. So we had to go ahead and scoop up Jolteon, which I was pretty lucky to get really early in the draft. Even though I think I was towards the end of the draft on the second day. I was towards the end of the draft, but somehow Jolteon made it through. And again, I never got sniped. I really didn't get sniped at all. Nothing happened to me that I was like really worried about the Pokemon that I was going to get this entire season or this entire draft. So it was really nice. But with Jolteon, we got a lot of options here. We've got Scarf Jolteon, Specs Jolteon. We could even go Life Orb Jolteon, something like that. We have a lot of good options here. We could even go AV Jolteon, which is pretty interesting. Assault Vest Jolteon with maybe we go Quick Attack, and then Shadow Ball, and then Thunderbolt and Volt Switch would be an interesting Assault Vest set. And then we go like, I guess, I don't really know, because this thing, defense wise, 60 defense, special defense is 95. I mean, Assault Vest is not, that's actually kind of weird. I don't know if this is just because this is what people normally use on Showdown. I guess Assault Vest is a popular item. Because like I said it, and then I was thinking about it, I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, I guess it could. I mean, anything could work, especially in this format. Anything could work. But I don't know, it is what it is. Most likely going to be a lot of Scarf and Specs, maybe even some, I don't really see a Sash coming out too often, but maybe Lefties, maybe even a Life Orb, which would be pretty interesting. It's nice because we have a Volt Absorber here. And taking a look at everybody that drafted, there's a Mega Manectric in the mix, excuse me, not a Mega Manectric. There is a Manectric in the mix, which went over to Jay and the Carolina Keldeos. There is a, let me see what else there is. I wish I could show you guys. If I drag this over here, so you guys can't see this, unfortunately. Maybe if I remember, I'll pop it up on the screen. But anyway, we've got Manectric going over to Jay and the Carolina Keldeos. We've got Zapdos going to Nexus and the Pittsburgh Pichus. I said the Pittsburgh Pichus. We've got, I'm trying to look at what other electric type Pokemon. There's a Raichu that went to Dan and the St. Louis Rampardos. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different Pokemon, but also just because they're not electric Pokemon doesn't mean that you know, they don't get electric type moves or whatever. So again, we have a good Volt Absorber, just a solid Pokemon. It's a good lead Pokemon. We've got U-turn, excuse me, we got Volt Switch on it, which is really nice. It's just a good scout Pokemon and everything like that. And of course, it's got a pretty decent special attack stat, even even with timid, you know, we attached that with timid. We got max speed of 200 here, which is really dope. And then even without the extra, you know, with the plus stats or anything like that, we get the base special attack, excuse me, of 162. So we're looking really good. This does a lot of damage, even if it's not, I shouldn't put it adamant, should I? Just go bashful. Even if it's not plus statted, or I should say nature beneficial, we still have a lot of damage here. 182 speed, 162 special attack. It just looks really good. It feels good to use because it's a good fast Pokemon. With the modest nature extra boost that we get, we have 178 special attack. It's just a good Pokemon overall. We definitely needed it because, like I said, it came down to we have a lot of slow Pokemon, and the Pokemon that I had left in my draft pick order or whatever, we still had a lot of slow Pokemon as well. So one of those slow Pokemon being Jellicent, but also not only is it a slow Pokemon, but it is also a very nice bulk. It is very nice wall here. And the other nice thing is we have a Volt Absorber here, we have a Water Absorber right here in Jellicent, and of course, you know, we want to run that Lefty's Water Absorb. We could even run Cursed Body here. If this Pokemon is a hit by an attack, there's a 30% chance the move gets disabled. It could be interesting. It could, you know, it could help us, it could hurt us, you never know. I guess it also gets damp here while this Pokemon is active. Such Struck, Explosion, and Aftermath have no effect. Now see, this might be pretty interesting to run a damp Jellicent versus, let me see who has Garbodor here. I believe it is Joey. So Joey Pokeaim and the Bronx Beartics, they actually have an Aftermath Pokemon on their team, which is kind of interesting, being the Garbodor. Now, this could be an option where I run a damp Jellicent. Not saying that I would, but it could be an option. If I'm really worried about that Garbodor, maybe we'll see what he does with it up until the battle that I have with him. You never really know. It would be kind of interesting to see, because he could bring that thing expecting me to bring, for example, the Superior, and I'm pretty sure that the Garbodor could tank anything from the Superior, especially if I'm not already set up. And even if I am set up, I probably will be able to tank anything from me. So it could be kind of scary there. It could be kind of scary that he can bring the Garbodor to check some of my Pokemon. Of course, just the poison in general. We don't really have access to Toxic Spikes on anything at the moment. We do have Toxic on the Jellicent though, which is pretty cool. We've got that option. We've got Scald, which can burn, which is a great option. We've got we also have Willow Hex, or I guess I could say Toxic Hex or Willow Hex, either one. Hex is a good move. Hex is going to be great. Doubles if the static, you know, if I get a burn or if I get Toxic. I guess it makes more sense if I just use Scald. I just realized that I have Scald in this set, and then I said Willow, so I guess that makes more sense. But anyway, Toxic for the poison, Scald for the burn, and then Hex to follow both of those up to just kind of complement it a little bit. And then we've got options to good recovery. With Recover, we've got Protect, we have Psychic if we need it, we've got Sludge Bomb, which again goes back to what I was saying in the OU and UU, is like we don't have a poison Pokemon, but we do have options. We do have Pokemon that can learn those poison moves. We got Sludge Wave and Sludge Bomb that we can, you know, we can learn. We've got the options there to do the damage, so it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Of course, we have Surf, which is a nice stab Surf. And the other thing that it kind of like opens up, and I was gonna say this, actually I guess I meant to say this about the UU picks here. That's OU. I guess I meant to say this about the UU picks, but I'm pretty sure that okay, I guess it doesn't learn Trick Room. I swear I thought I had a maybe maybe it's in, let me see. Actually, I think that this can learn Trick Room, right? Yeah, okay, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. I got ahead of myself. I do apologize for that. I got ahead of myself. But anyway, as I was saying, we've got a lot of options here. And again, this is a pretty solid Jellicent set right here. We probably wouldn't, I mean, that fourth move would kind of just be an interesting, just sort of a free move. Maybe an Ice Beam. Like I said, maybe even a Protect or a Pain Split would be pretty cool. Again, reliable recovery with Recover would be nice. Shadow Ball would be Stab to take down some of the Pokemon we've got. Let me see what they have over on their teams here. The Shadow Ball, there's a Chandelure, but again, if there's a Chandelure versus Jellicent, we can just solve that, so it's not that big of a deal. But there's some Psychic Pokemon that are on the field. There's also Ghost Pokemon, such as Miss Magus. There is, did anybody end up getting Gengar? I don't know if anybody drafted Gengar. I don't see it. I actually think Gengar went. I mean, Gengar's not really a great. It's not really an amazing Pokemon in the format, but I mean, it's still fucking Gengar, so it is what it is. So maybe there's not really. I don't know. Their Shadow Ball is not really. Maybe it's not as needed as I expected it to be. I don't know. The option is there if we wanted to go with it. And again, we've got Water Spout, which would actually be pretty interesting. Go to run Water Spout, 150 damage, 100% accurate. And if I'm at full HP, which if I run like a max HP here, if I were to just run max HP as 207, even if I didn't run max HP, it's still 100 base and 175 with the correct IVs. So I mean, it's still looking pretty good. You know what I mean? It's still looking pretty good. Water Spout probably won't run it, but like I said, it is an option that's pretty cool. And then of course we got Magic Coat. That I mean, again, this would have to be one of those situations where I'd have to run the Tailwind Skarmory set to sort of outspeed with a Jellicent. Because looking at, I mean, most of the stuff I'm not outspeeding. I'm wondering maybe a Tangrowth. Tangrowth is base 50 speed and Jellicent is at base 60 speed. So I mean, maybe try to outspeed a Tangrowth, and I don't know. It would be very, very situational, very specific. It would have to be a very specific situation that I'm in for something like that to work. So maybe not, but it is what it is. All right, so moving on, we've got Aromatisse here. Now, this is just one of those Pokemon at this point in the draft, at the in the second day. This is the 9th pick of the draft, and I don't have a fairy type on my team, so I had to go ahead and scoop up Aromatisse. There was a couple of options in the RU tier here. I'm actually gonna pull it up here. Let me see what other options we had. Because so we had Gramble was on. There's the few fairies that were in here were sort of on my radar, and there was a couple fairies even lower tier that were on my radar as well. We had Gramble. Wait, is it RU or maybe? Oh, let me double check. Let me double check. Yeah, this is RU. I was gonna say I don't see the rest of the Pokemon here. But as I was saying, let me see. We're gonna go RU and the filter, and then we're gonna go fairy and filter that out as well. Here we go. So we had Togetic, which honestly Togetic was I was so close to grabbing Togetic. Let me see who actually scooped that up, because I know it did go over to somebody. I don't think it was sniped for me, because I'm pretty sure I chose first. Because my number 1 pick for this tier was going to be Aromatisse regardless, right? In the off chance that Aromatisse was chosen, I was going to go Togetic, then Granbull. And the reason I was going to do that is because Togetic would have given us the coverage, it would have given us utility and everything. Granbull would have given us a nice fairy with a lot of attack, but it's super slow. And again, it would just add to my team just being really slow. Even though it would have been really nice to have, you know, the attack. I already had so many physical attackers on my team as it was, though. So Aromatisse I wanted to go with instead because it just fit the team a little bit better. It's got actually really good HP. The defenses they're pretty good. You can't really complain. It is very, very slow though, but at this point Aromatisse isn't really meant. I don't really need the Aromatisse to be fast for what I needed to do. So we've got Healer, 30%, excuse me, not Healer, but Aroma Veil protects the user / allies from Attract, Disable, Encore, Heal, Block, Taunt, and Torment. So it's like, please try taunting me. You know what I mean? Please try taunting me. I would love for you to taunt me. You can't do that. You go nice clean lefties right here. And then again, it gives us options to so many different things. We've got Aromatherapy. We've got Calm Mind if we run that set, because Aromatisse actually is going to be able to tank some stuff, but you know, we EV it correctly for whatever match we're going into. Set up a couple Calm Minds. We're going to tank some stuff. We're going to do some damage, because I'm pretty sure the special attack stat, special attack stat ain't nothing to laugh at. You know what I mean? Bars. It's really nothing to laugh at. 99 special attack stat for the Aromatisse is actually really, really good. So, you know, we could be looking at a Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam set. We have the option for Energy Ball as well. We've got, we even have, you know, it's interesting because I said this before. Now, obviously, Skarmory is going to be our fairy check, but in the off chance that we don't have the Skarmory for whatever particular fairy, we also have Gyro Ball. And looking at how slow, I'm not going to be speccing anything into the speed as it is anyway, so Gyro Ball is a huge, could be very, very, very big for us, especially if we go up against any type of, you know, any other fairy, whether it's, you know, maybe a Sylveon or maybe even that Granbull or something like that. You know, it's going to be really, really nice. Or even if we go up against anything like a rock type or a, a rock type or an ice type, you know what I mean? Most of those Pokemon are a lot faster than Aromatisse, so we're gonna be hitting pretty hard, especially if it's gonna be super effective. Gonna hit pretty hard. Of course, we also have the options for Flash Cannon here, and again, if we wanted to go, you know, Calm Mind Flash Cannon or whatever, that would be really nice. Again, Magic Code is here, as well as Moonblast, and we get access to another light screen user, which is really nice. We also have Psychic and Psyshock on here. Now, let me look at the attack stat. 72, again, ain't nothing to laugh at. It's not terrible. Obviously, I probably wouldn't run this on a regular basis, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It does not get Thunder Wave though, but it does get Thunder and Thunderbolt, which could be interesting for coverage depending on what team I'm playing. And then again, we have another Toxic user and another Wish user. So we have, like, almost all of the Pokemon that I have can learn some form of status ailment, which is really, really nice. So basically, like, running back through the team, we've got 2 Defoggers. We've got a ton of status users, status inflictors, which is really nice, whether it be Scald Burns, whether it be Toxic. We have reliable recovery with Healing Wish or Wish. We've got reliable recovery with Giga Drains. We got reliable recovery with Recover itself, with Rest. There's so many options that we have for our team. And again, this goes back to what I was saying before, is like I wanted to build a team that I was comfortable with, or excuse me, that took me out of my comfort zone a little bit with the Pokemon guy. I don't think I've ever used a Aromatisse, especially not competitively. Jealous, and I'm pretty sure that I've used before. Superior every now and then. I haven't used Mega Charizard in forever. I haven't used Charizard period in forever. I don't think I've ever actively used a Blissey as well. So it's kind of like I'm like I said, I'm branching out. I'm trying to play different things, but at the same time, the Pokemon that I chose for this season, the draft was so good for me because I just have so many different options. I've got a ridiculous wall core. I've just got there's so many things that can work. They can go right for me, and it's really nice. So let's go ahead and get into the last tier here, which is the NU and below. And the very first pick we had for ourselves was Mesprit. And I know I sniped a lot of people with this Mesprit, and a lot of people were trying to tell me like, oh, Mesprit didn't really do like shit. Like, it literally didn't do anything last season. I think Joey had Mesprit last season. People were like, oh, it really didn't do anything for anybody in the last season. But you gotta take into consideration, like, just because it wasn't needed on someone else's team doesn't mean it wouldn't be needed for our team, because now we've got another ground. All right, so let's take a look at this. Wait a minute, just take a look at this. So taking a look at our team, we've got a Skarmory for the ground checks, right? But we have to be careful there because Stone Edge and Rock Slide. Because what is this thing? The Charizard, we have to protect this Charizard. So the Mesprit gives us a Levitate user who checks Earthquakes, who checks Earth Powers, who checks stuff like that. So it's gonna be really, really good for us, especially, if we end up getting, for example, Arena Trapped by Dugtrio, which Dugtrio is on, where is Dugtrio? Who has Dugtrio? Dugtrio is owned by the Newcastle Nidokings, Patterson Newcastle Nidoking. So in the off chance that he would decide to lead with a Dugtrio or something like that, we don't have to really worry about it too much, because we're not gonna get Earthquake. We have a Levitate user, and if you want to trap me, that's fine, because we got some stuff to deal with you, which is really nice. And one of those things that we got to deal with possibly being a Blizzard. We've got an extra sensor. We got Energy Ball, which is going to be really nice. Again, another Healing Wish Pokemon. We got Ice Beam, we got Ice Punch, and of course, like, look at the stats. The stats are so solid. Like, the stats are ridiculous for how low this Pokemon actually is. HP of 80, speed of 80, everything else is 105. That, we can run this thing absolutely any way that we want. We can run a physical, we can run a special, we could run either a special or defensive wall, we could run a utility and go for so many things. Does it get rocks? I don't think it gets Stealth Rocks. It actually does. Just kidding. It gets Stealth Rocks. Does it get Spikes? It doesn't get Spikes. It does get, it gets Toxic. I don't know if it gets Willow though. It does not get Willow. So we have options. We got options and we got options. You know what I mean? Again, like I said, now we have another Rocks user. We have a Levitate user as well. We've got a solid Screens. We've got, let me see what else we have here. We've got good. Do we have decent recovery with this thing actually? I'm not sure that we have decent recovery, but one of the best things about this though is it gives us a decent lead. We could go Scarf, Mesprit, and also have the Jolteon on our team. We have a Volturn team now, and I believe this was the first Pokemon. This is the only Pokemon on our team right now that, off the top of my head, that I can think of that has U-Turn. I'm pretty sure it's the only U-Turner on our team. We do have the Volt Switcher with the Jolteon, but again, we have even more options now with the U-Turn. If we decided to run a physical set, we Zen Headbutt hits hard. The U-Turn is a good scouting move. Lead Mesprit with Scarf and a U-Turn, something like that. Then of course, see, and one of the cool sets that we could do is like U-Turn. We could go Trick. Oh shit, I can't type. We could go Trick, U-Turn, maybe even a Trick, U-Turn, maybe a Psychic, depending. Again, it all depends on who I actually have to play or who I'm up against that week. We have T-Wave, for example. And then we have, let's say, we'll just throw Psychic on there. And we go Scarf, right? And say we want to go, let's see. Let's say we want to go like Modest Nature here. And then, actually, no, I wouldn't even go Modest Nature. I would go like HP. I would go like defensive, like HP or something like that, right? So I would go something more along the lines of maybe a, just taking a look at different, maybe an Impish Nature. No, because that would minus special attack, so we don't want to do that. So we would go like maybe Careful. No, that's special attack. Calm would be, let's go Calm. We're gonna go Calm, or maybe even, actually, I don't know. Like it all depends. Again, it depends on who I'm up against. Because I'm sitting here like, oh, I could go this, or I could go this, or I could go this, or I could go this. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different things that I could do here. So let's say Naive Nature, right? We want to give it some speed here. We could Scarf it, and give it speed anyway, and we're gonna go ahead and Trick on the first turn, which would be pretty interesting. Lock them in, and then turn around and Thunder Wave. So that, again, it gives us a lot of cool options, which is I really like about Mesprit. Like I said, the stats for this thing are ridiculous for it to be so low tier, in my opinion, and I feel like it's a much higher tier Pokemon in the UCL, like in this league format or in a draft style like this, or in a format like this. I feel like it's so much higher than an RU or an NU pick. Like it's a good Pokemon, man. It's a good Pokemon. So next up, our second NU pick here is going to be Sandslash. Now again, this just gives us a stab EQ. This is a rapid spinner. Now we have 2 defoggers, a rapid spinner as well, which is really good. Another user for Stealth Rocks. We've got a stab, like I said, stab Earthquake. We've also got a couple other things. We got a knockoff if we need it. We have a poison jab as well if we need it, which is going to be really good. Stone Edge and Rock Slide, of course, very important. Another toxic user, and even an SD. And the other nice thing is we get access to Super Fang as well. And there, like I said, there's just so many options that you can have to run. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a lot of options, but because Sandslash isn't like the most versatile Pokemon. It doesn't have like it doesn't have access to the largest pool of moves, but it is still a really solid Pokemon. Especially, like, all I'm saying is you don't want to take a choice band EQ from from a Sandslash, because that's still a pretty decent attack stat. Like 100 attack stat. I say we run this thing Adamant Nature, we max that all the way out. 252, that's 167, even with the speed not being that great, still 117 at max speed. So it's like, it's not the fastest Pokemon, but also it kind of hits really freaking hard, so you really have nothing to worry about there. Again, this gives us a ground type Pokemon, which we really needed, as well as a stab Earthquake, of course, another user with access to Stealth Rocks, and it also gives us a rapid spinner. So again, it goes back to how I was saying with the OU and the OU and the UU breakdown, how I don't want the Skarmory to be the same set, or I don't want the Skarmory to be the same Tailwind defog set every single week, so I don't want to get like predictable or anything like that. So now we have a rapid spinner in the Sandslash, which is pretty nice. And then the very last Pokemon here, I had to make everybody happy. We went with the one and only, the God, the Uber's Pokemon himself, young Dedenne here. Now Dedenne was honestly, this pick, as joke as it sounds, and as like fan picked as it sounds, as for the people as it was, it actually sort of fits our team a little bit. Like, it actually does all right. It gives us access to another fairy type Pokemon. We have Cheek Pouch, Citrus Berry if we want to. We've got let me see, we have Cheek plus Citrus Berry. Let me see. If an active ally has the, I actually didn't know what this was. I had to read that, but that's not important for us. But anyway, like I said, Cheek Pouch, Citrus Berry here, which is gonna be really nice. It gives us access to so many different things, man. We've got Super Fang, we've got Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, Thunder Wave, Toxic, U-Turn, another U-Turner on our team. We got Volt Switch, we got Wild Charge, man. We've got Play Rough, and again, it's not the strongest Pokemon, but it is our team captain. You guys see, it is pretty speedy, man. Even with no nature investments or anything like that, we've got a speed of 153, a base speed of 101. You know what I mean? Like, it gets Volt Switch. Oh, here, not Volt Tackle. It gets, I mean, it does get Volt Tackle, but it gets Volt Switch as well as U-Turn, which is really nice for coverage. You know what I mean? We have the options to do any of that. We also have Thunder Wave to slow everybody down, and if we want to do a little bit of damage with it, we even have Nuzzle, but it only does 20 damage, so I'm probably not going to worry about that too much. But we have Nuzzle as well. And again, a good reliable recovery being Citrus Berry Cheek Pouch, which is really good. And again, if we spec this thing correctly, you know, if everything works out in our favor, it can put in a lot. It honestly could put in a lot of work, because taking a look, for example, at all the dragons that were drafted this season, let's just take a look. There was Garchomp, there was Flygon, there was let me see. There's a Mega Gyarados. There is let me keep looking here. There's Mega Gyarados. There's Hydreigon. There is Druddigon. How about a taking a look? Well, of course, I have the Mega Charizard, so I'm not really worried about that. But we also have. I'm just taking a look at what else was drafted this season. Let me see here. Oh, the Dragonite was drafted as well. We've also got the Tyranitar, the T-Tar was drafted as well. Let me see here. I don't know if that's all of them. I think that's all of them, actually. I think that's all of them. Oh no, we had the Latios. The Latios and Latios were both drafted as well. Yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of dragons drafted this season. And just because the Dedenne is, you know, you might look at Dedenne and be like, oh, LOL, Dedenne, like this is an awful pick. Bro, what is a dragon to a Dedenne? Please lock yourself into Outrage. What are you gonna do? What is somebody gonna do if they lock themselves into Outrage and I swap into Dedenne? It might just be a little rat. It might just be a little Dedenne, but it's still fairy typed, so you're doing no damage to me. On top of that, I can follow back. I can follow up with a T-Wave. You want to get locked into, you want to lock yourself into Outrage and then get Thunder Wave? By all means. You want to lock yourself into Outrage and you want to, you know, get Super Fang? Then by all means. You know what I mean? We have options to a lot of different things. We even have options for Toxic and stuff like that. Even more status ailments, which is really, really nice. And also complements our Jellicent really well, because that thing has Hex, or it has the option to learn Hex. Not that I will run it every single week, but the options are there, man. The options are there. So it's actually really, really good. Again, I'm feeling, even with the Dedenne, I'm feeling extremely confident in my picks. Like I said, I'm stepping out of my boundaries a little bit, going out of my comfort zone some to play with some Pokemon that I don't normally use, or I haven't used in the past, at least not on a regular basis. So hopefully everything works out for us and the Grand Canyon Greninjas this season. If you guys are hyped and you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button down below, because one like does go a long way, helps out the channel and the series is up. And of course, if you missed the OU and the UU draft picks, like I said, the information or the link for that and the annotation will be on the screen as well as in the description, so by all means go check it out. If you guys have any suggestions, questions, comments, suggestions, or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. But as always, thank you guys for watching the video. I'm gonna get out of here now. It's been Twit, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!